Welcome to Smashville. This is PK Subban.
I'm Dan Hamhuis.
This is Craig Smith.
This is Mike Fisher.
But you need to dig in right now, every guy.
Everybody loves their soldiers until they come home and stop fighting.
Enough is enough.
They need me to bleed, and I'll bleed for my team.
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
This is Ryan Johansson. Welcome to Smashville.
This is Philip Forsberg.
I'm Victor Arvidsson.
I'm Ryan Ellis.
I'm Matthias Ekholm.
I'm Beckerin, and you're listening to the Renegades of Puck with Crazy Charlie.
Crazy Charlie puts words in my mouth. You can't trust that guy.
If you can't get some fire, some passion, some energy, and figure out how in the hell to talk about this magnificent sport of hockey that has taken over the city of Nashville, then why are you on the radio? You don't deserve it, and you should do the honorable thing and turn your mic in. You're making a damn fool of yourself.
This is my declaration. I'm coming after every single one of you. The lazy, the tired, the boring voices out there. Your time is up. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier.
I'm Pete Weber of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Find a way, boys. No more half-stepping.
Now, here's your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the No Half Step in hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're getting educated about the show, you click on that merchandise tab and take you straight to our classic logo tee and all the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, you know it makes no difference to us. Best said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent and unaffiliated operation known as the Renegades of Puck. So here's how you can jump in the trenches with us. You'll find us on Threads, Instagram, and Facebook as our active social media platforms. So please help us out there. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't take you but a second, but it sure goes a long way to helping out this operation right here. YouTube is the most important place where we are working on building up our audience as we start to transition into new levels of content that you're going to start seeing on the channel here within a couple of weeks. We definitely need more followers and more subscribers to the channel, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel today. Let the Renegades of Puck in your life know. Turn on those notifications as well so you'll know when we put out the latest information and the latest content. You can also support the show financially by going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck. I think there's still a QR code over here on the desk, but as you can see, as we have continued building out the new Renegades of Puck headquarters, the old set known as the bunker all around me has, well, it's been dismantled piece by piece and reappropriated into the new set. We are starting to put some lights and sound equipment over into that area in the coming days and weeks ahead, and that's when we'll be able to start putting out content from over in the new Renegades of Puck HQ. So please, if you can spare it, we sure could use it over here. We function solely based on your donations at this time. Listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 995. That's right. It's time for show number 995. And at this moment in hockey history, it's time to recap the Nashville Predators season that has concluded. The Central Division has wrapped up and the playoffs are into their second round, but for the Nashville Predators, it's already been quite some time since they've had a game on the ice. The Predators this season finished 7th place in the Central Division after 82 games skated. They have a record of 30, 44, and 8. 68 points was a 31-point differential from just last season on home ice. The Predators went 20-18-3. On the road, they went 10-26-5, scored 214 goals. That's 55 less than last season. They also gave up 274 goals. That's 26 more than the previous season. So their goal differential this year was minus 60. That is just an awful, awful number. Let's recap how the Central Division wrapped up. Then we'll talk about the Predators. We'll go through their season rankings, their statistics, how things changed from last season to this season, and where things are potentially going moving forward with the draft lottery having just recently wrapped up. The Central Division was won by the Winnipeg Jets, who finished with a record of 56-22-4, 116 points as a part of their 30 wins on home ice, 26 wins on the road, 277 goals for, 191 given up against. The 277 represents a three-way tie for the most goals in the Central. The 191 goals given up against is the least amount in the Central Division and the only team to give up less than 200 goals in the Central Division. A big reason why Connor Hellebuck is not only anticipated to win the Vezina Trophy, but is also expected to receive quite a few votes for the MVP. The Dallas Stars finished in second place in the Central Division with 106 points, 10 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, locking them into a first-round playoff series against the Colorado Avalanche, who finished in third place with 102 points, 4 points behind the Dallas Stars. The Minnesota Wild finished in fourth place with 97 points. The St. Louis Blues finished in fifth place with 96 points. Those 5 teams made the NHL playoffs. The Utah Hockey Club, now the Mammoth, finished in sixth place with 89 points. The Nashville Predators with 68 points. And the Chicago Blackhawks finish in last place in the Central Division again this season, only compiling 61 total points. I mentioned a three-way tie in the goals for to lead the Central Division, a pretty abnormal caveat in the statistics. Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado all scored 277 goals against this season, and in descending order from first to third place, the goals against for those 3 teams was 191, 224, 234. So you see the difference. The offense was there for all 3 of those teams. It was the Winnipeg Jets defense and the Dallas Stars being just slightly better defensively that led to them finishing in second over the Colorado Avalanche. It would be the Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche meeting in the first round, with the Dallas Stars coming away with a shocking victory and some historical statistics by Rantanen there down the stretch of that 7-game series. The Winnipeg Jets would also face off against the St. Louis Blues in the first round of the Central Division bracket, and the Winnipeg Jets would advance, and the Winnipeg Jets are currently in the second round, engaged in a 7-game series with the Dallas Stars. The Minnesota Wild were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Vegas Golden Knights. So for the Nashville Predators, getting back to their coverage now that we've wrapped up and recapped the Central Division for the season, the Predators down 17 victories this season over last season, down 31 points this season over last season. They started this season 0-5, and there were some real concerns immediately as soon as the schedule began. 3 losing streaks this season of 6 games or more, and obviously you're not going to have very good winning hockey or a very good points total at the end of the season if you have that many long losing streaks. Their longest losing streak of the season was 8 straight from November the 25th till December the 10th. Their longest win streak on the positive side of things was 5 games from January the 14th to January the 23rd. They accomplished that 3 different times, having a 3+ win streak on the season. The Predators only had 10 wins on the road this season, which was down 14 from the previous season. Chicago with 10 road wins was the worst. San Jose was the absolute worst in the NHL. So the Predators are finding themselves in very poor company here with Chicago and San Jose quite a bit. The 68 points the Predators scored this year represent a downfall of 31 points from the previous season. Chicago at 61, San Jose at 52, the only teams worse than the Predators. And while it felt like it was the worst season in Predators history, in fact, it was not. It was the 4th worst season in Nashville Predators history. 2012-2013, the Predators only eclipsed 41 points in the season the last time they were in the draft lottery. Talking about the season rankings and the numbers for this Nashville Predators team, and I went ahead and compared and contrasted with the previous season to show you where the Predators were trending in a season where last year they made the playoffs unexpectedly with a young lineup, spent a lot of money on free agency. You'll see how the numbers didn't necessarily reflect any type of positive gain from those signings this season. In the goals for category, the Predators had 2.59, finished at 31st overall in in the NHL. They managed to get themselves one spot out of last place on the last day of the season, but 2.59 represents a decline of 0.65 goals per game. Last season, the Predators had 3.24 goals per game, were 10th best in the NHL. They dropped 21 spots this season in goals for. In the goals against category, the Predators gave up 3.34 this season. 27th overall was their NHL ranking. They ended up giving up 0.32 more goals this season over last season. Last season, they were rated 14th in the NHL, and that is a drop of 13 spots. So in those first two categories, goals for, goals against, a drop of 21 spots and a drop of 13 spots. In the shots on goal category, the Predators generated 29.3, top 10 metric right here for the Preds this season, 9th overall. Last season, 32.2 was 8th, so they were actually down one spot and down 2.9 shots per game, even though this was their best statistical metric on the season. In the shots against category, 28.6 for the Predators is 16th overall in the NHL this season. Last season, they gave up 30.6, so this is one statistical category where the Predators were up a total of 7 spots, and they cut off 2 shots against per game. In the power play, the Predators finished 21.9% this season, conversion rate 18th best in the league, 50 out of 228. The Predators last season, 26.6%, was 16th best in the league. They converted 58 times on 269 opportunities, so down 2 spots on the power play. The penalty kill for the Predators at times this season, best overall in the NHL, finished 7th best in the NHL by kill rate percentage, 81.5%. They gave up 45 power play goals against. This was the most significant change and uptick for the Predators in stats from last season to this season. Last season, their penalty kill finished 22nd in the NHL and gave up 57 power play goals against. So they gave up 12 less power play goals this season and moved up 15 spots in the NHL on kill rate to finish 7th in the league. Just a couple other stats to throw at you before we move on to the individual players. In the hits category, the Predators finished with 1,933 hits on the season. That was 9th best in the NHL. Last season, 2,149 hits was 5th best. They were down 216 total hits this season, 4 spots. Block shots, 1,161 on the season, was 27th in the NHL. Last season, 1,265, so minus 104 on the block shots and down 9 spots overall. Face-off winning percentage, 51.3% on the season, was 11th best in the NHL. Total, just found this number to be unique. We don't often talk about how many face-offs a team deals with in a season. 4,687 face-offs for the Predators, and they had a face-off winning percentage of 51.3%. That's got the division recap. That's got the team statistics recapped. We're going to go individual statistics, and then we'll talk about the season storylines before we wrap up this episode. It's episode 995 of the Renegades of Puck podcast. We're recapping everything. Let's call it the Rebirth Sports full game recap coming up, except this time it's going to be all about individual players and statistics. It's coming up next, right here.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. We talked about the team statistics in the Central Division for the Nashville Predators in the season that has just wrapped up. Let's talk about the individual players and statistics right now. Filip Forsberg led the Nashville Predators in scoring this season. 31 goals, 45 assists, 76 total points, and that is good overall. But it does not seem all that great when you compare it to last season's statistics. So while the Predators had a very large drop-off in goals from the previous year that we talked about in the first segment, Filip Forsberg individually, 31 goals this season was 17 fewer than he scored the previous season. His 45 assists were 1 fewer than last season. Total points, 18 fewer than last season. Some of this happened because of the power play. While 10 power play goals is a nice number, it was still 3 less than what he scored on the power play last year. And this is a trend you're going to notice throughout the Nashville Predators lineup, whether they played for the Predators the previous season or they were somewhere else. Everyone saw a decline in their individual statistics this season. Jonathan Marchessault, his first season with the Nashville Predators, down 21 goals. He scored 21, but he was down 21 from last season when he scored 42. He was up 8 assists, 35 on the season, but down 13 points overall with 56 from last season. Steven Stamkos, another player that saw significant declines in statistics. This season, 27 goals, down 13 from the previous season's 40. 26 assists, was down 15 from previous season, and 53 total points for the Nashville Predators was obviously disappointing for player, team, and fan base all involved. Down 28 points from last season in his first year on a big contract with a brand new team. Ryan O'Reilly skated in 79 games this season. His 21 goals was down 5 from the previous season. His 32 assists was down 11 from the previous season. His 53 points were down 16 total from the previous season. Now, when it comes to Roman Josi, obviously one of the big reasons his statistics suffered such a big decline this year was the number of games played. 53, that's 29 games less than he skated the previous season due to injury. Cheap shot at that. 9 goals in the season was down 14, 29 assists was down 33 total, and 38 points is down 47 points from the previous season. But again, this was the only case that was massively affected by injury. Before that, every player in the lineup was at 82, 78, 82, 79 games played. Brady Shea, 82 games played this season for the Nashville Predators, one of only 3 Preds to go the entire distance. Philip Forsberg, Steven Stamkos, and Brady Shea. Brady Shea on the season, though, his first year with the Nashville Predators, 10 goals, was down 3 from what he did the previous season with Carolina. 23 assists was down 11 from the previous season with Carolina. 33 points was down 14 total, and a lot of this stems from the power play, down 7 from the previous season. Luke Evangelista, looking to have a big season, did not have that. He did get to 10 goals, which is nice, but it was down 6 from the previous year. 22 assists, was down 1 point. 32 on the season, down 7 from the previous year. Big hopes for Luke Evangelista going into next season. Next on the stats is Tommy Novak, 52 games this season, but traded to Pittsburgh. Gus Nyquist traded to Minnesota, skated in 57 games for the Nashville Predators. They had 22 and 21 points, respectively. Colton Sissons finished the season injured, had a decline in statistics as well. 7 goals, was down 8 goals from the previous season, and points 21, down 14 from the last season. Fedor Svechkov, as a rookie, came in and got 52 games of experience at the NHL level, scored 8 goals and 9 assists for 17 points, all of those being career highs. Nick Blankenberg, 60 games skated for the Predators, 4 goals and 12 assists for 16 points. LaRue comes in as a rookie, gets 62 games experience, 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points. Also, 63 penalty minutes on the season. That was the 3rd overall on the team, and dealt with his first career suspension. Michael McCarron had a fairly decent season offensively the previous year. This year, only 5 goals. That's down 7, though he did skate in 74 games. His assists down 1 from last season, and points at 14 is down 8 from last year. Cole Smith also down 5 goals. Mark Jankowski got traded to Carolina. Michael Bunting came in and skated 18 games for the Preds and generated 5 goals and 9 points total. Del Gaizo had 46 games skated for the Preds and 9 points this season. Then Carrier traded to Montreal. Shen traded to Pittsburgh. Parsonen traded to Colorado. And then Wilsby, Bellows, Osterley, Stastny round out the statistics for the Nashville Predators. So as you can see, a massive decline across the board in statistics. You say there's no way it can happen 2 years in a row with the amount of talent that the Nashville Predators. Well, we don't really know what next year's Nashville Predators team is going to look like. They changed so dramatically from opening night to where we're talking about recapping the season. I honestly don't know what the team is going to look like moving forward. We'll try to put those pieces together here in just a couple of minutes. But before we talk about that and the main narratives and storylines of the season, let's talk about the goaltenders. And the goaltending room this season began with Saros and Wedgwood, but did not end that way, as Wedgwood would be traded fairly early in the season, and Jussi Saunier would be added to the Nashville Predators. I felt that he was a very good, solid backup. Jussi Saros this season, 20, 31, and 6. down 15 wins from the previous season. The previous season, he was 35, 24, and 5. This season that just completed, 20, 31, and 6, a 2.98 goals against average this season. That is also down at .896. Save percentage is also down. 4 shutouts. That was actually up by 1. Saros did not have a high-quality team in front of him many nights this season, so it's not surprising to see that his win-loss record is as significantly different as it was. The rest of the numbers through are somewhat comparable. No, they're not great, but 2.98 this season versus 2.86 last season on the goals against, .896 save percentage versus .906 last season, and then 4 shutouts versus 3 shutouts. So the 15 different victories in that column certainly shows that the team in front of UC Saros was not there on a lot of nights, especially on the offensive side of things. UC Saunier went 9-11-1 this season, a 3.17 goals against average, an .888 save percentage. No shutouts on the season. Thought he got some great experience. I think he could be a very quality backup and good player for this Nashville Predators team moving forward. That's going to do it for the statistics recap for the Nashville Predators 2024-2025 season. We'll talk about the storylines, the narratives, the personnel moves, and what is ahead for the Nashville Predators coming up after we hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions. Very much looking forward to working with Stripe Digital Solutions on our new adventures and our new content. Make sure you check them out today. We got a whole nother sheet to go through, a lot of thoughts right here. We will talk about it next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Let's go back to the opening night roster for this Nashville Predators team to begin the 2024-2025 campaign. A lot of excitement in the air. A lot of money was spent. Expectations were elevated solely by the front office going out and spending lots of money after the team lost the previous season in 6 games to the Vancouver Canucks. Unexpectedly made the playoffs with a very young roster that was hungry. The fan base got behind them. They went out, spent a lot of money, raised expectations, and we come into opening night with Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, and Nyquist at the first line spot. Stamkos, Novak, and Marchessault. Evangelista, Sissons, and Tomasino on the third line. Smith, McCarron, and Jankowski make up your fourth line. Parsonen was the extra forward on opening night. On the defensive side of things, Yossi and Shea, Luzon and Carrier, Fabro and Shen. Saros gets the start with Wedgwood backing up in this game. Then we would see on the 13th of August, Glass would be traded to Pittsburgh. On the 23rd of August, Askarov would be traded to San Jose for Fabro. Fabro would be put on waivers after that. The 25th of November would see Tomasino move to Pittsburgh. The 30th of November would see Wedgwood sent to Colorado for Onanen. It's the 18th of December would see Carrier to Montreal for Justin Barron. The 28th of December would see Parsonen off to Colorado. The 1st of March would see Nyquist to Minnesota. The 5th of March would see Novak and Shen to Pittsburgh for Michael Bunting. And the 7th of March would see Jankowski off to Carolina. That means the opening day roster I just told you about was nearly dismantled piece by piece as the season went along. This, because of injuries, trades, and other maneuverings by Barry Trotz, is what the last game of the season's roster was. Bunting, O'Reilly, Evangelista on the first line, Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault, LaRue, Svechkov, and Wood, 3 rookies there starting together on the third line, Smith, McCarron, and Verana on your defense pairings, Shea and Blankenberg, Osterley and Barron, Englund and Del Gaizo, and in net Saros with Onanen backing him up. Now, the Nashville Predators roster at the end of the season was obviously quite depleted due to a number of factors. Now, looking forward, these are the things that we are going to have to deal with as far as the Nashville Predators, their salary cap, and the things to come. So, restricted free agent, Luke Evangelista. That will have to be dealt with immediately by this Nashville Predators team. I think Luke Evangelista should be signed. I think he's earned another contract here with this Nashville Predators team, and I think that he will see a significant bump up in statistics if given another opportunity. Now, unrestricted free agent Jacob Vrana, I expect the Predators to let him walk, and I agree fully with that. He produced virtually nothing after signing with the Nashville Predators team and is not worth the money at the expense of some of these other prospects and young players that have an opportunity to fill that role. Another unrestricted free agent is Mark Del Gaizo. I would like to see the Predators find a way to bring Mark Del Gaizo back. I like the skill set that he brings, and I think that he is ripening right now into potentially a very strong offensive defenseman in the NHL. Other things affecting the Nashville Predators and their plans moving forward, the Matt Duchene buyout. As you watch Matt Duchene still having success in the playoffs for the Dallas Stars, his buyout continues for the Nashville Predators through 2027, 2028. The Kyle Turris buyout is also through 2027, 2028. That is the other money left on the Nashville Predators books, the dead money as they call it, that they need to deal with and just continue processing out. Lots of money available, though, because the Nashville Predators dismantled their roster. They eliminated a lot of forward-moving contracts. As a matter of fact, you'll see the big picture here coming up in just a second, but what are they going to do with that money? Is it Sam Bennett that you're watching on your TV every other night with the Florida Panthers, who is out there overly aggressive, taking on the entire Eastern Conference? Well, he is probably going to be the biggest money free agent out there this season if he continues having playoff success again this year. It's going to be hard to get into a bidding war with the majority of the NHL, who would all covet a player like that. Claude Giroux, Brock Nelson, also players of that caliber, not quite of that statistical capability, nor that skill level, frankly, nor that draw power at this point. But Giroux and Nelson will be out there and available. The draft lottery has now been handled. The Nashville Predators had a top 5 guaranteed. They started out the draft lottery in the number 3 slot. Everyone hopeful that that slim percentage would get them the number 1 overall slot, but they got jumped not once, but twice during the draft lottery, fell 2 spots, and will now pick at the number 5 overall spot in the upcoming NHL draft. That'll be a part of 3 first-round draft picks, obviously one of those being the 5th, the rest still being determined. Jeannot and Askarov trades are who brought back the other first-round draft picks. 10 total picks for the Predators coming up, and it is 2 in the second. So 3 in the first, 2 in the second, so 5 of their picks in the first 2 rounds. That's big. That's the Predators a chance to stock the cupboard with a lot of impressive young talent if they get those picks right. We'll have more discussion about that coming up here in the future. So that's kind of where the Predators are at right now as we're heading to the draft. The big picture for the Nashville Predators is like this. 5 of the top 6 are confirmed. Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault, O'Reilly, and Bunting for next season. Can the Predators add a Sam Bennett to this roster? Can they add a top center? That is to be determined. They have the money to get in a bidding war and to handle any free agent demands that are out there. So the Predators do have an opportunity to add a top-line player to their top six. A center would be the most ideal. So again, Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault, O'Reilly, and Bunting. Evangelista, the restricted free agent, don't know what his future will be. The bottom six sees LaRue, after a good rookie campaign, coming back and being a good disturber on the third line, but also getting support from McCarron and Smith. Sissons will be out there. Free agent prospect. The Predators have a wealth of options and opportunities right here, but I would say that the bottom six currently has 4 players in it if Luke Evangelista is brought back and a top-line free agent's brought in, and Evangelista obviously will take one of those 2 possibly remaining spots. So the Predators do have a little bit of flexibility to add to the bottom six. On the defense, looks like 4 confirmed. Yossi, Shea, Luzon, and England all under contract for next season. Yossi coming back from injury. Shea will have his second season for the Nashville Predators. Luzon will also be coming back from injury. England was added to the roster here midseason. He'll have an opportunity, but between Barron, Blankenberg, Wilsby, Osterley, potentially the free agent market, who will fill the other 2, 3, possibly 4 slots? I could see the Predators coming out of training camp with 8 defensemen next season. I could absolutely see that, considering where they are right now. So you have 5 of the top 6 confirmed. You have 4 of the bottom 6 confirmed. You have 4 of your 6 defense confirmed. So that leaves just a couple of opportunities for the Predators to go out there and spend the very vast amounts of money that they have as they wait on some of this draft capital to start to mature and some of the other prospects to continue maturing. Fedor Svechkov could also easily be a part of that bottom 6 for next season. Goalie sees Saros and Onanen coming back as the tandem, and UC Saros I expect to be in the same form that he typically is. Again, the same percentage of the goals against average. They were right there. The season was the win-loss record. That was the best. So for the Predators, the summation is get healthy, get back to career normals in numbers. We chronicled how far in decline everybody's numbers were from just the previous season, and supplement intelligently. Now listen, if you can go out there and you can add a Sam Bennett, he is a proven winner. He is a proven skill guy who can put up tons of goals, and he plays the game hard. Sometimes a little too hard. He gets himself in a little bit of trouble, but supplement this team intelligently. Don't just go out there and throw the money at everything, and you have a strong prospect pool that is still actively playing in the AHL playoffs, chasing the Calder Cup. Svechkov, Wood, Kemmel, all of them are coming of age. Now, Wood got some very brief NHL experience, but he looked to fit in immediately. A strong camp could propel him right onto this Nashville Predators roster, though that is not typical with this Nashville Predators team. And while injuries were a convenient excuse for a team that had raised expectations, it will only allow for a rookie owner, GM, coach to get off the hook one time. Again, a rookie owner, Haslam, a rookie GM, Trotz, a rookie head coach, Brunette. All of them get an opportunity to get off the hook after this one. You do not see a big clamoring for the Predators to move on from Andrew Brunette. There were some very brief rumors, but there were rumors at the end of the season about every coach in the NHL. Teams have made their maneuverings now, and if the Predators wanted one of those 6-8 retreads that were available, like Tortorella, like Quinville, like any of those other coaches that have been out there available, Laviolette, they could have made that move by now. They would have made that move by now. It would be absolutely screwing Andrew Brunette. Carl Taylor is still coaching with the Milwaukee Admirals this season. I hope that he is going to remain with the Predators organization, but there's only so many cycles and so long they can hang on. So the injuries are a convenient excuse to get away from the raised expectations. They'll allow everyone off the hook, so a mulligan is essentially what we get, but there will be consequences from this draft on out for this Nashville Predators front office, for this coaching staff, and for the players. They cannot have another repeat of this season. It was a decline in 17 victories in the standings. It was a decline by your leading scorer of 17 goals. It was a decline by your biggest free agent, Jonathan Marchessault, of 21 goals. It was a decline by your other biggest free agent, Steven Stamkos, 13 goals this season. It cannot happen again. There must be consequences, and they cannot be amongst the Phil Tomasino, Alex Carrier portion of the roster, which I felt that those guys franchise took too much of the blame for what the top-end talent was not getting done. The Predators cleared a hell of a lot of money out. What are they going to do with it right now? As we watch the NHL playoffs unfold, the second round continues. A player like Sam Bennett is going up in value every single second. Down 2-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and immediately Sam Bennett and Tkachuk lead the charge, and the Florida Panthers right back in that series, tied at 2 apiece in that Game 5, the most anticipated game of the second round at this point in time. So again, Sam Bennett is going to be the biggest piece out there available after this season. And the Florida Panthers, of course, are going to be the victims of their own success and probably going to get priced out of their own superstar player if they want to continue moving forward with any type of depth in their roster. All right, that's going to do it for Operation number 995. We'll do a Milwaukee Admirals season recap as well. We got a couple of best ofs coming up, and then episode 1000 will be the send-off. It will be the end of this particular version of the podcast. We have had so much fun for the last 995 episodes. Looking forward to doing a couple of more. Please join us, follow us on social media, and help support your local Renegades. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your time. And most importantly, I appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect.